Investigators here have asked all of the core family members to assemble right now, as we speak, at the school that they've set up as their command center. We don't know what kind of information they want to share, if they want to ask questions. We don't know the content. The family doesn't know the content. But as we speak right now, according to Wilma Cook, the girls' grandmother, the family is on their way right now to meet with investigators.
All right, well, that's excellent information, and I have to stop you right there and then go to Brian Claypool, criminal defense attorney and child advocate. To me, that would say that, hey, they're cooperating with the family. They're bringing the whole family in. I certainly hope it's not bad news. All of our hearts and our hopes and our prayers are with these girls and finding these girls. But that certainly sounds like the police and these family members are cooperating.
Well, Jane, it sounds like the family's cooperating, but I think this new information that you've developed, which is great for the public to know about the prior criminal background of these two parents, this broadens the investigation dramatically, because you now have to start looking at all the people that these parents were associating with. Who were they interfacing with? Were they involved in any drug deals? Were there people that are unsavory in that community that might be out to exact revenge against this family? You now have to start looking at a whole broader depth of people here. And I think that this father, Daniel, he's complaining about being interrogated, investigated. I'm a single parent of a 6-year-old girl. I'll tell you right now, if my daughter went missing, I would expect the police to be knocking on my door, and I would expect to be a suspect.
Well, here's what federal authorities are telling us. In 2003, Lyric Cook's mom, Misty, who we've been talking to on the show for a couple of days now, was sentenced for conspiracy to manufacture and distribute methamphetamine. Now, last September, they say she violated the terms of her supervision and then served another 5 months in prison. She was then sent to a halfway house and got out just 2 months ago. Now, has she cleaned up her life? The girl's aunt told me that Misty actually separated from Dan because Misty couldn't tolerate his involvement with drugs. Listen to this.
They've been separated some time because of the meth use. Dan had a real issue with it. Misty wanted no part of it in her life anymore.
So Howard Samuels, addiction specialist, founder and CEO of the Hills Treatment Center, it's possible that Misty has gotten sober and was making a better life for her children, and that whatever is in her past is in her past.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I mean, their drug use was, just a few months ago. And you have to understand, the world of crystal meth is a very sick, dangerous world to be involved in. And if these girls' parents were distributing and dealing this drug at one particular time, along with being addicted to crystal meth, crystal meth is a sick, dangerous drug, Jane. The paranoid delusions, the hallucinations, it's prone to violence. These girls could have been in major, major environment of violence and trouble, along with the people that were associating with these parents. If I was the police, that would be the first thing I'd be looking at.
I want to go back to Jim Spellman, CNN correspondent on the ground in Iowa. Again, I want to go back to this report we've been hearing that Daniel, the father of missing Lyric, the 10-year-old, stormed out of a police interview, and then the scene later at the hotel where they were staying to get away from it.
That's right. 2 nights ago, Daniel was polygraphed and was being interviewed at this makeshift command center that authorities have set up here. He tells me on the phone, he told me personally, that they were accusing him of hurting Lyric somehow, of knowing what was going on. He said he got sick of it, he got up, and he left. Last night, the family decided they needed a break from all of the media. They checked into a hotel for a night. They say the same investigator banged on their door and again was accusing Daniel, saying that you know something, tell us what you know. And then we don't. So that's really frustrated them, because they feel like, look, we've agreed to everything. We've been polygraphed. You haven't needed search warrants for anything. Leave us alone. Move on. Look elsewhere. You're not going to find your answers here. That's what the family says. I want to add a little bit more detail, too, about the investigation into possible drug connections. The authorities here took Daniel's cell phone, and the grandmother, Wilma Cook, just told me that they returned the cell phone to him, and they wanted information on a series of numbers inside that phone. So clearly they want to know who was calling Daniel and who he was calling.
Wow, that's new information. They confiscated Daniel's cell phone, and they're looking at the numbers in his phone. Excellent reporting. Thank you so much.